Hello Hearthstone fans and welcome to the Skype One Nation of Gamers Hearthstone Academy Daily Recap for December 9th. I'm Astrogation joined by Racy and we're here on behalf of GamerSensei and we'll be bringing you a daily summary of questions and discussion topics from the Hearthstone Academy Skype group. If you're looking for other passionate players to chat with about Hearthstone, you can join the group by simply adding Gaming with Skype on your Skype account. You'll also be entered to win a coaching lesson from either Strifecrow or Frozen, taking place on December 13th and 15th, as well as other giveaways. You can check out skype.onog.gg for more details. Our first topic today is the fact that Pirate Warrior is dying down to the higher ranks. I mean, yesterday I climbed to top 40 on NA, and I also today climbed to top 20 on EU, and I did not run into like a single Pirate Warrior. And why do you think that is?
Well, I think that the aggro Shaman Pirate Warrior deck, the Jade Pirate aggro Shaman deck, yeah, there we go, is just becoming so popular, and it has a good Pirate Warrior matchup that it's kind of pushing Pirate Warrior out of the metagame. It seems like the Shaman deck is just strictly superior right now because of cards like Feral Spirits, and just the ability to roll a Taunt Totem can just completely lose Pirate Warrior the game. Like, how do you deal with an O2 Taunt efficiently if you don't have Southsea Deckhand as Pirate Warrior? Like, you might just end up hitting your Akanai Reaper into a Taunt Totem, and that just does not feel good.
Right. I think that, yeah, as an aggro deck, Pirate Warrior is just getting outclassed by, as you said, the Jade aggro Shaman. And I also think the Jade aggro Shaman has a little bit more gas, too, and has a little bit more reach with spells. The thing is, like, the nice thing about aggro Shaman is that they have a lot of spells that can go through taunts, right? Because a lot of people are teching in, taunts. Like, especially Druid, for example, you'll run into a lot of taunts, some weapon destruction. And if you have Lava Bursts, and Jade Lightnings, and Lightning Bolts, you can get through those taunts.
Yep. And Shaman also has the 4-mana 7/7, so you can't forget about that. That's pretty insane. That's a bit stronger than Korkron most of the time.
Yeah,
very hard to deal with.
Yeah.
I think that also makes you be able to beat Reno in and of itself. If you play a 4-mana 7/7 on turn 4 against Reno Lock, it's most likely not getting answered, right?
Yeah.
So
nobody runs Big Game Hunter. I mean, yeah, I haven't seen a single Reno Lock running Big Game Hunter, and also Siphon Soul is a turn 6 play for them, and you're getting that out on turn 4.
Yeah, and if they do Reno, having that amount of pressure on the board means that you can actually just kill them over again. Whereas with Pirate Warrior, most of your pressure is through the weapon charges, so once you exhaust that pressure, it kind of you just lose if they have Reno, right?
Right.
Where with the Shaman deck, if you still have the 7/7 on board, you can still re-kill them after they play Reno potentially.
Yeah. No, that's really interesting. I mean, Pirate Warriors seem to be the go-to deck during like the first few days of the expansion, and kind of we can already see how quickly the meta is evolving. This is what I love about unsolved metas. You know, they just change very quickly. I mean, what is easily one of the most popular decks, you know, one day, just the next day, just completely almost gone. What kind of adjustments do you think should you make now that Pirate Warrior is seemingly dying down a little bit?
I think that means decks like Rogue and potentially not necessarily slower decks, because I don't think the Rogue decks that are being played right now are slow at all, but just different decks that can afford to fight for board more and play like less taunts and stuff like that are going to become better. Like, I could even see decks like Zoo maybe making a comeback, but that's a bit of a stretch. But definitely Rogue is going to come into the metagame now that they don't have to worry about just getting hit in the face for 1,000,000 damage by an Akanai Reaper.
Right.
Because I think Rogue was being pushed out by Pirate Warrior, and now it's kind of lightened up a bit, and Rogue is going to find its way back in the meta. I mean, it already has. It, like, just in the course of a day or two, like, Rogue has seemingly exploded on ladder.
Yeah. And
I've seen a lot of people do well with it. And yeah, the fact that there's no Pirate Warrior just means, like, I don't want to say cooler decks, but just slower decks that don't have to play as many taunts and stuff are able to find its way into the metagame, especially if Pirate Warrior keeps dying down.
Yeah, on roughly the same topic, what do you think about Pirate Dragon Warrior? It's a little bit of a different concept. It's still got that the Nizal's first mate War Axe and the small time Buccaneer for early game pressure, but instead of like curving out into weapons, you curve out into dragons instead.
I actually really like the deck. It seems a lot more stable than Pirate Warrior. It's not as all in. It has a better mid game and late game, obviously. And it still has a strong early game if you're able to get like the turn one Buccaneer into patches. It's a similar early game, just it's less explosive and more consistent. Probably does better. It definitely does better against the aggro shamans for sure.
Right. I have noticed that it does do better against aggro shaman, but it does a little bit worse against Reno Lock because it doesn't pressure Reno Lock hard enough early on, and then Reno Lock can kind of get its AoEs comfortably and then Reno comfortably.
Generally, if an aggro deck isn't able to kill a Reno deck by turn 6, it's probably going to lose.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dragon Warrior is definitely worse against Reno, which is still a very popular deck on the ladder. So it's kind of like I don't want to say a triangle, like a rock paper scissors, because there's more than just 3 decks, but it's very kind of matchup based right now on the ladder for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think Pirate Warrior is definitely not tier 1 anymore. It's probably tier 2 at this point. And so, yeah, everybody have fun. You don't have to worry about Pirate Warrior anymore, so...
nope, you just have to worry about Pirate Shaman.
Yeah.
And Rogue.
Yeah. Alright, for our second topic today, let's talk about the evolution of OTK Druid. So, I think the first iteration that I saw of it working like somewhat successfully was it's like a full-on combo. You play Aviana into Kun to refresh your mana, into Alexstrasza their face, Malagos, Starfire for 15 damage. Now, that's kind of a complete combo deck, but we've seen some more iterations recently. Such as, like, instead of playing Alexstrasza and Starfire, you just play it like a normal Malagos deck, where Aviana and Kun can be treated as tempo cards. But there's also been a Cthulhu version, which I think you have a little bit more to say about that one.
Yeah, the Cthulhu version was playing cards like Brewmaster and stuff to bring the Cthulhu back to the hand, and it's still an OTK deck, like the original version that you talked about, but it's just a bit different. Requires different cards, Cthulhu Brewmaster. I've also seen more mid-rangey versions where they don't actually play the Brewmaster and they kind of just realize that they don't need the Wombo combo and it makes their deck less consistent, so they just play the Cthulhu, and usually that's enough. Like, they go Aviana, Kun, Cthulhu, and then that board alone is usually enough to win the matchup. But sometimes it doesn't get there. If you, like, are playing against Reno Lock, you can't force them to exhaust their Twisting Nether or something like that. But you can just play it differently. You don't have to necessarily go full combo. You can kind of like half combo them, try to bait it out, and then play Cthulhu later and hope it just gets there. There's just so many different ways to play it. At first, the deck was played as a meme almost. Like, people were just doing it for fun, and then they were like, oh, wait a second, this is actually doing really well. It seems like it might actually be a real deck, and now people are starting to refine it more and more and more, and it's actually doing really well on the ladder.
Yeah. No, just yesterday, actually. We're talking about how Pirate Warrior is dying down. Yesterday, on High Legend NA ladder, almost everybody was playing the Cthulhu TK version. It's got Loot Hoarders, it's got Doomsayers for the early game, and it runs double Nourish, double Lunar Visions, and then you just play like a bunch of mid-range Cthulhu cards, and like the ultimate combo is basically Aviana Kun to refresh, and then you play Bran, and then you play all of your Cthulhu cards, and then you Cthulhu them, which the effect goes off twice because you have Bran on board. And I actually did lose to that deck a couple of times. That deck was kind of crazy.
I mean, I've lost to it too. I think it's a real deck, and it actually has real potential to be really good right now, especially if people are stopping to play Pirate Warrior. That's one of the decks that is able to come into the metagame when it's not as aggressive and explosive, and you don't really have to have those taunts early game
Yeah, but the thing is, even it's not even that bad, because you have against aggressive decks. You don't need to combo them, right? You play your Doomsayers, your Disciple of Cthuns, for to stop their aggression. But not only that, you have 2 Pharaoh Rages, and you can also just Kun for armor, 10 armor. So even against like aggressive decks, it has, you know, you don't have to go for the combo. You just play them piecemeal, and then just armor out of range and win that way.
Yeah, the deck's early game is very geared towards beating aggro shaman because their early game revolves around board presence, like Tunnel Trug into Totem Golem and stuff, whereas Pirate Warriors was just like play Buccaneer and go into War Axe, right?
Yeah.
So it's not as board control or board centric as the Pirate version, which means like cards like Doomsayer are weaker against Pirate, but much stronger against Shaman. So basically everything is falling into place for the Kun deck to be relevant right now.
Yeah, I mean that's really cool. I hope to. I mean, I hate losing to it, but I hope it has potential as a competitive deck. I would like to see it. It's really fun to watch. Thank you to everyone in the Hearthstone Academy Skype group who participated, and if you love Hearthstone, we'd love to have you join the conversation. Simply add Gaming with Skype on Skype, and you'll be added to the Hearthstone Academy Skype group. Get in there and participate, and your discussion topics may be selected for tomorrow's episode. And if you're interested in joining the best esports coaching platform in the world, we can get coached by myself, Ray C, and a number of other amazing sensei. Make sure you sign up for GamerSensei and use the promo code ONENATION for 25% off. That's ONENATION, all caps, no space, all letters. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.